Daily Heavenly Manna, July 23rd. If any provide not for his own, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an unbeliever. 1 Timothy 5:8. The faith includes thoughts of love, sympathy, interest, and care for others, especially for them of the household of faith. How it gives us an insight into our Lord's sympathetic nature, to find him thinking in the interest of others at the very time when he himself was overwhelmed in trouble. His own agony did not hinder him from thinking of his mother and making provision for her comfort. We note the choice of John. It was doubtless because, first of all, of his loving, tender disposition, secondly, his zeal for the Lord and the truth, and thirdly, his courage in pressing near to be with his dying master in his closing hours at the risk of his own life. Let us note these characteristics as being those which the Lord approves, that noting them we may cultivate them in ourselves and thus be granted special opportunities for service by this same master. Reprint 2474.
Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking just one source, a single, pretty ancient passage, and looking at it through the lens of a really insightful commentary.
Right, one that maybe pushes back on how we usually read it.
Exactly. Our goal here is to unpack what it really means to provide for one's own, because it seems to go way beyond, just the material things.
Absolutely. We're looking for those deeper insights, right, into maybe human nature and our responsibilities to each other.
Okay, so the passage itself is from 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. It says, "If any provide not for his own, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an unbeliever."
Wow, that's incredibly strong language. Worse than an unbeliever.
It really is. It hits hard.
And what's fascinating is how the commentary we're using tackles that phrase, the faith.
Yeah, what does it say about that? Because usually you think faith means belief, doctrines.
Exactly. But this commentary argues it's not just a passive thing, not just what you believe in your head, it's active.
Active how?
It says true faith actually includes things like love, sympathy, real interest, and crucially, practical care for other people.
Ah, okay, so it's outward facing.
Very much so. Especially it notes, for those in your immediate circle, what it calls the household of faith.
Which could mean more than just literal family, right? Like a close community.
Precisely. Like an extended family built on trust and shared values. It really reframes faith as an active commitment, not just a feeling.
That's a significant shift. And the commentary then gives this, quite surprising example to illustrate it, doesn't it?
It does. It points to the Lord himself, highlighting his sympathetic nature.
Even when things were incredibly difficult for him personally.
Right. Even when, as the text describes it, he was overwhelmed in trouble and in agony. Think about that state.
Yeah, unimaginable.
And yet, even then, he was thinking about his mother. He made specific provision for her comfort. He arranged for someone else to care for her.
That's extraordinary. It suggests that this kind of true care, this active sympathy, it isn't something that just switches off when you're suffering yourself.
Exactly. It sort of transcends personal distress. It implies that maybe our real capacity for this kind of empathy shows up most clearly when we're the ones struggling.
That's quite a challenge for us, isn't it? How do you show up for others when you're barely holding it together yourself?
It's a tough question. Yeah. But this example suggests it's not only possible, but maybe it's a core part of this act of faith.
Okay, so he makes this provision in his moment of agony. But how did he do it? And maybe more revealing, who did he choose for this task?
Right. The commentary gets specific. He entrusted his mother to John.
John. Okay. And why John, does it say?
It gives three very distinct reasons, which I think tell us a lot about the qualities being valued here.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, John's loving, tender disposition.
A tender disposition. So more than just being nice. Like a deep empathy, a sensitivity.
I think so. The kind that can almost anticipate what someone needs for comfort without being asked.
Okay. Makes sense. What's number two?
Second, his zeal for the Lord and the truth.
Zeal. So passion, dedication.
Yeah, but not just like abstract enthusiasm.
Yeah.
A real driving commitment to what's right, what's true. The kind of commitment that leads to action.
Got it. So love and empathy plus this active commitment. And the third reason?
The third one is maybe the most striking. His courage. specifically courage in pressing near to be with his dying master in his closing hours at the risk of his own life.
Wow. So physical courage, emotional courage, the willingness to be present in the hardest moments, even when it's dangerous.
Exactly. To stay close during intense suffering, despite personal risk, that's a profound form of care.
Love, zeal, courage. Taken together, it sounds like the commentary is saying that providing in this deeper sense isn't just about doing things. It's fundamentally about the kind of person you are. It's about character.
Precisely. These weren't just actions John performed. They were part of who he was. And that's what qualified him, you could say, for this specific act of care.
So if we tie this all together, the passage, the commentary, the example, what's the big takeaway?
Well, the commentary suggests that by actively cultivating these traits ourselves, this love, this zeal, this courage, we're not just, fulfilling some ancient command.
Okay.
It actually says we might be opening ourselves up to, and I'm quoting here, special opportunities for service by this same master.
Special opportunities for service. Interesting.
Yeah, it implies these qualities make us ready for perhaps greater purpose or impact in the ways we care for others.
So wrapping up this deep dive then, it seems providing for one's own is much broader and deeper than just paying the bills.
Absolutely. It's a call to cultivate these core character traits, active care, that passionate zeal for what's right, and real courage.
Even, or maybe especially when we're facing our own difficulties.
Right, which leaves a really interesting question for you, the listener, to maybe reflect on. If cultivating these qualities, love, zeal, courage, really does prepare us for special opportunities for service, as the commentary suggests, well, what might that mean for how you choose to act, how you choose to care for others, starting right now?
What special opportunities might be just around the corner for you if you lean into developing that character?
Exactly. Something to think about.